Hi, good afternoon, everyone. As Kajin has mentioned, this is our first webinar, and this is also my first time presenting without any physical audience around, but in the comfort of my own home. So in a way, this COVID-19 has actually brought about reality of embracing change to all of us. So today, my sharing cover mainly on three aspects: challenges faced by F&B industries in this COVID-19, immediate tasks and the strategies that companies can adopt, and how the company should develop capability to prepare for the future. We are in an unprecedented situation, and we are facing two major crises worldwide: health and economic crisis. So many F&B companies have been left scrambling to survive their business, adopt new strategies and technologies, and try their very best to keep their staff. However, bleak as it may sound, as Chinese saying goes, in every crisis, there is an opportunity. So what are the challenges do F&B face? We are faced with a continued fixed operating cost, which is high, while revenue has reduced drastically. Fixed operating costs such as rental costs, manpower costs, and there are some bank loans committed previously, equipment rental costs, and there are some tax payments yet to be made. So since the outbreak of COVID-19, sales has reduced substantially due to the decline in the tourism, social distancing measures, and circuit breakers. And now we have extended circuit breaker. Not only sales reduction and coupled with high fixed rental costs, for most of the restaurants, on-demand food delivery, once a very small percentage of their sales, has now become the key, or if not the only sales driver. It has become the only sales channel to keep the restaurant in operation nowadays. So the restaurants are facing challenges in managing and coordinating food preparations, food qualities, and delivery schedules with their riders. I'm pretty sure some of us probably will have encountered a long delay in the food delivery, which has affected the food quality when the food reached the customers. There are high merchant commissions, keen online sales competitions, and there are some restaurants even find themselves lack of funds or resources to revamp their websites or invest in the digital marketing to meet the demand for the online orders. The restaurant staff are also facing the risk of being infected. So the company will have to look into how they should plan their business continuity. Like any other industries, we have to live with the uncertainties of when the business or economy may recover. However, in the midst of all what's happening, it is very important that we still adopt a right perspective. First, we have to anticipate there will be a slow sales recovery. Negative GDP is expected, and we are in a recession. While working hard on exploring sales channels, it is needful for us to focus on preserving our cash and control costs at this moment. You will need to understand what is your cash position. How much do you have in the bank? How long can it last? And how much the bank is willing to loan you? And what's the possibility of the equity capital injections if it is required, whether it's from the shareholders or from your investors? Identify what is the funding debt. What is the amount of the money needed to fund the ongoing operations that is currently not available to you, and when you may need the cash injection? So start to explore different funding options available in the market early. So to preserve cash or for cost control purpose, you will need to review the operations. You may need to consolidate some resources, minimize costs, or if not lost. For example, the staff may need to multitasking or even temporarily close some of your outlets and consolidate online sales to certain outlets to lower the overall operating cost. Thirdly, you will need to evaluate your business model, assess and study if the current operating model serves well to support growth, meet the market demand, and continue to maximize the profit. It is important that your products and services are adaptable to changes. Fourthly, while it is hard to think of it now, it is also important to maintain the perspective to build your capability even in the midst of crisis, because it will provide you with a long-term competitive advantage. So the immediate tasks and the strategies should be focused on cash flow management. We're thankful that we have a government who has introduced various schemes to provide financial support to the companies. But I shall leave the details to Sean from SME Center to brief you on 24th, 2 days later. The government grants and support mainly help to address cash flow problems, such as rental rebate, rental waiver, co-fund the staff costs, like job support scheme or work-life grant, and to support the digital transformation through the product solution grant and EDG, and also build the capability through the EDG grant and MR8. There are also other government-assisted loans to help the company as they attempt to ride the COVID-19 crisis. Janus, our next speaker, will cover that in details later. So how shall the company manage its cash flow at this point of time? Careful manpower planning is needed because it's one of the major costs for the F&B. So I think many staff has been told or requested to take their annual leave or even no pay leave. And then some bosses has taken lead to take the pay cut or if not no pay. So you need to control the food costs and other operating costs, minimize wastage, and optimize your inventory. Inventory does have an impact on your cash flow. And I would like to highlight the job support scheme and foreign worker levy because it can be a substantial sum for those companies with good numbers of locals and also some foreigners. And I suggest you actually do it. You forecast your cash inflow and do it for both for your profit and loss statement and for your cash flow, which means you accrue your salary subsidies in the respective month that's related to this rebate. And that will help to reflect a more accurate P&L performance for the respective month. So you won't get the short for the month you didn't get the cash in, but actually it's meant for the month to offset the month's staff costs. Also at the same time, monitor closely when the sum, which is paid out quarterly, that will be credited to your bank. And also confirm with your landlord on the period that you will receive your rental rebate. Some malls actually even return the partial rental deposit to the tenants. So please talk to your landlord if it's necessary. Confirm if the bank loan can be deferred if you require that. And also communicate with the bank. Make arrangement early with the bank if you foresee loan is needed. In fact, even you do not have a funding gap for that, given the low interest rate currently is offering in the market, it may be good for you to look into that, to take up some loans for your future expansion. I'll suggest you prepare a rolling cash flow forecast weekly, given the tight situation that we're in, and update the forecast on the weekly basis to reflect any changes. A rolling forecast actually serves as a plan, and it can be amended anytime, but it will make you on top of your cash flow status. So you can prepare a cash flow or prepare profit and loss by starting making some assumptions on your sales. You can use your last 2-3 weeks after the circuit breaker sales as a basis for your sales assumption and plan for good and bad scenarios. Find out what is the minimum cost that you will need to incur to achieve this sales. If you can't break even, then find out how long can you sustain the operation. Do take into consideration the support of the bank loans made available along the way. Make arrangement for your payment. Plan when to release payment with the suppliers. Is there any room for negotiation for later payment from your creditors? Or if you make timely payments, is it possible to ask for discount on your payment? Now I would like to talk about online sales and food delivery. This has become an important sales channel in the F&B scene. In the past, much focus is on serving dine-in customers, and little attention is paid to online sales and delivery. We now need to view online business will gradually become as important as dine-in business. Therefore, careful planning of workflow and processes is needed. So first, you review your food delivery menus to see if the menus meets the demand of your customers, whether it's a price competitive, is it cost effective, taking into consideration of wastage or delivery cost, whether your menu offers variety of customers, or can you consider on the regular basis update your menu or change a new menu. Develop and monitor your sales. Find your online customers. Value add to your existing customers who are loyal to you in the past and even now. Compile and analyze sales data collected. Rank your sales menu, the items or the sets that's offered. That will be helpful for you to plan your marketing and plan your future menus. Assess the sales response from the respective online order platforms to assess the effectiveness of those platforms, and also try to explore other online platforms, other modes of deliveries, compare their commissions, fees, or take notes whether they are reliable and what is their payment terms. Also, it's important to monitor your margins. Try to compute the margin to have a good sense of the margin for each items or each set. And also prepare for the sales supply disruption. Understand there are some supplies, there's some shortage. So you might want to stock up more, but do consider the cash flow impact as well. And source for the cheaper options, alternate suppliers for the ingredients or other direct costs, maybe such as packaging costs. But be mindful of the qualities and the long-term relationship that you have built with your suppliers. So if you do consider go on other platforms, there are factors you may want to consider, which is the areas that they cover. Are they island-wide? What is the commission rate? Is there a boarding fee? Whether their software, the system reliable, their delivery is reliable, and what is their payment term to you? If you have to conduct online sales, you will have to have a digital presence and strong marketing digital marketing. Our other speakers, Benjamin and Eric, will be sharing with you more on the online sales next week. So we need to understand the COVID-19 crisis, however difficult, will one day go away. What will happen after that? We probably see a slow economic recovery, which will affect the consumer's spending power, higher demand for the value offerings. A strong focus on the delivery service will continue, and the strong focus on the online customer engagement. Food safety will be a concern, and with some F&B companies that likely not to survive this crisis, and we will see the loosening of the labor market, and more F&B space may make available for the rest. So looking forward, company, they see beyond COVID-19. One example is SIA and this group of company. They're planning the staff for training during this period. And this is to upskill their staff to prepare for the future. I know it might be difficult or too far for some of you to consider this at this point in time, but I hope that you put them in the back of your mind and think of it when things are more stable for you. So Companies need to develop capabilities to develop for the futures. There are 4 areas you might want to consider. First, evaluate the business model and build resilience. Review your current business model. Identify what are the gaps that you may need to fill, especially you have gone through this crisis, and design the changes. Also make sure that you execute these changes. Secondly, look at the workflow redesign. Invest in the automated equipment, invest in digital technologies. The government has pumped in a lot of grants to support in these areas. Enhance the manpower productivities, and also continue to focus on key service touchpoint and customer experience. Much we like to see a lot of technologies applied in the food and service sector, but it's still a service center. We still need to find appropriate service touchpoint for your customer that is effective. Thirdly, study the efficiency of the resources in the shared service in the areas such as central kitchen facilities. Can you share the central kitchen with others or share other central kitchen facilities? And also look at the back-end operations. Explore the outsource option for the back-end service, such as finance, HR, IT, or marketing. Outsourced shared service can prove to be cost-effective and strategically beneficial and useful. Expansion, as mentioned earlier, it is expected F&B space in the mall may be released due to the closure of some F&B operations. If you are looking to expand locally, this may be a good time to enter malls that previously you might consider too expensive to go into. For overseas expansions, you can consider various types of business model when venture overseas. Franchise, commonly used as a model to expand, and our speaker Albert, a franchise expert, will share with you in our last session on the 4th of May. As part of a capability development, financial forecast of 3 to 5 years is important for the company. It quantifies your plan and allows you to establish business goals that are both realistic and feasible. Financial forecasts help to predict the state of your business finance and give you the opportunities to measure the actual progress and anticipate potential problems if they arise. But I would suggest you be more proactive in doing your forecast. Set certain parameters upfront. For example, what is your expected growth rate? What is the desired sales mix? In this case, maybe dine-in as versus the online sales. What is the expected gross margins? What is the sales employee that you're expecting? So for you to budget your manpower costs. What is the sales per square foot? For you to make a sensible offer for the rental rate. Last but not the least, certainly is the profit margin. What is the reasonable margins for you to continue to stay in these operations? So with these 4 areas, evaluate your business model, study the efficiency of the resources, expansion plans, workflow redesign. It has the impact on how you prepare your forecast. I've come to my conclusion. So while we're facing many pressing issues with COVID-19, it is important not to lose sight of a longer-term perspective of your business. COVID-19 has brought many changes or challenges to F&B industries. I hope you can take stock of your business, find means to ride through this crisis. At the same time, identify new opportunities and thrive beyond this crisis. I'm certainly looking forward to see full house for F&B industries again. So with this, I shall end my presentation. Thank you.
All right.